Hello everyone, my name is Sujata Sapota and this is video reflection for assessment 2 of multiliteracy learning. What is multiliteracy learning? Let's learn together. In early childhood classroom, literacy is no longer than reading and writing. Children use different means of communication such as talking, images, play, art, storytelling, movement, digital tools and many more. This whole broader view is collectively known as multiliteracy learning. According to early years learning framework, children are effective communicators. They don't only use words, they use different ways of communication such as images, play, digital media and so on. The New London Group also supports this view, talking about the literacy today is about the text, language, technology, not just limited. For this reflection, I have chosen two articles. The first article is Engaging Young Children in Visual Literacy Instruction, and the second article is Multimodal Digital Text Creation using tablets and open-ended apps to improve the literacy learning in early childhood classrooms. In this reflection, I am going to find out the key points, theoretical perspectives, and practical implementations in early childhood classroom. Let's begin. My first article is Engaging Young Children in Visual Literacy. It was studied with the children of 4 to 6 years of age. And in this study, the children were engaged in the visual literacy through artworks. There were several key findings of this visual literacy. My first key point was children were ready for the visual literacy. In the study, the children were asked about the impressionist painting, about what they saw. And they could easily know that basic colors and shapes. For example, saying, this is red, this is circle, like that. But what really stand out for me was teacher's guidance. When teachers asked questions, the children noticed the warm colors like red, orange, cool colors like blue, green. They began to understand about the perspective as well. The things will look smaller when they go farther and the things look bigger when it come closer, like that. This shows the importance of Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, which tells about the scaffolding. The children learn when the educators give the right hints, prompts, questions to stress their thinking process and creative thinking. This is what actually happened here, which turned the simple naming into the deeper learning. My second finding is that the colorful and familiar artworks increase the engagement and interest in the children. The painting with the bright colors, recognizable subjects held the children's attention for a longer period of time and encourage them to talk more. This links to early years learning framework, which highlights that the learning should be engaging, meaningful and connected to the life of the children. I see this on my center, like I have my practical experience. One day I just shared a picture of a playground with my children, and straight away one child pointed and said, "There I went with my dad." And another child also joined in and shared their own personal stories on the playground. Their engagement grew because the image was familiar and personal to them. My third finding is that the storytelling emerges naturally. In the study, the children didn't just only label the paintings saying this is blue, this is house, like that. Instead, they created the stories saying what's happening over there, adding characters, actions, feelings, and created a whole story. This reflects the broader belief that the visual literacy is not just about recognizing image, it's about the critical thinking and meaning making. The children moving from describing what they saw over there to interpreting and imaging shows how the deeper literacy level they have gone so far. Exactly the same things happens on my center. I have one incident. Like once I saw the children with the painting of a garden with the flowers and a small dog. And one child said, "This dog is looking for the ball," and another child added, "The flowers are hiding it." Very quickly, the group built a whole story around the picture. A small image became a chance for the storytelling. The children shared their imaginations and ideas together. This also sparks the collaboration and creativity among the children. My fourth finding is that the guided conversation supported the deepest learning. When the teachers use the simple playful terms like the sunny colors to describe the warm tones, the children understand and remember the concept so easily. This is another concept of Vygotsky's scaffolding. It also supports the Fellows and Oakley idea that child-friendly explorations make abstract things more easy and clear. I found it that too in my personal life. If I describe something like bright like the sun, cool like the ocean, children will instantly connect and use the terms themselves. It's a reminder that our choice of language is powerful. The words we use can either confuse the children or unlock their new understanding. That's why we need to be careful when we use our words. Taken together, this finding shows that even young children are capable of visual literacy learning, especially when the experiences are engaging, supported, and meaningful. My second article is multimodal digital text creation using technology. It focuses on the early childhood classroom where children use tablets, creative apps like sock puppets, book creator to design their own digital stories such as puppet shows, ebooks, and many more. The aim was to see how technology could support multiliteracy learning, allowing them to combine text, image, sound, and voice. The first finding is that the technology improved both reading and oral language. In the study, the children who used these apps showed better reading outcomes than in the previous year. At the same time, the app encouraged them to record their dialogues, practice vocabulary, and refine their pronunciation as they created their stories. This shows the pedagogy of multiliteracies because literacy today is not about the print but about the spoken, visual, and digital modes. It links to multiliteracies mapped by Fellows and Oakley, which highlights the oral communication as a key of literacy. By using these apps, children were building their reading and speaking language together. My second finding is that the technology motivated persistence in the children. In the study, children use apps to record and re-record their stories, repeating the tasks again and again until they were satisfied. This persistence mattered because it shows that children were not finishing quickly, they were taking ownership and improving their work. This instant feedback from the app encouraged them to keep trying. This reflects the FLAIR's digital play framework, which highlights that how technology can be used for children to experiment, make choice, persistent until they reach their goal. I have a similar experience from my childcare center. In our childcare center, we don't generally use iPads for children, but the child brought that recordable microphone toy and they love playing with that. They were listening to their voice again and again. They were recording time and again and listening to it again and again. The principle here is also same. The technology gives the immediate feedback and encourages persistence, just as the study found that with the tablets, like it applies in our practical life as well. The third finding is that the technology supported collaboration and confidence among the children. In the study, children often work in peers or small groups. One was recording voice, another was choosing image, and others were suggesting some ideas. They were all working together. The technology here became a shared task, encouraging children to listen, negotiate, and contribute to a common goal. This reflects EYLF, which highlights that learning is collaborative and socially constructed. It also supports Borner's socio-constructivism, which explains that children develop knowledge and confidence through shared dialogue and joint problem solving. This study showed that the technology can be used in a collaborative way. It is not only used for literacy development, it can be used for the social competence, self-beliefs, and collaboration purposes as well. My fourth finding is that the technology enabled creative meaning making. In the study, tablets are not only used for repetitive exercises, instead children are using that to create the digital storybooks, puppet shows, and multimedia text, combining sound, image, and words to express their ideas. This reflects Board and Irward's digital play framework, which shows that the technology can be playful and imaginative, while also building the literacy. It also aligns with the EYLF, which encourages that educators to provide enough resources for children so that the children can explore, imagine, and represent their thinking in their multiple ways. The study highlighted that when technology are used in open-ended creative ways, it supports the children not to be consumer of digital content but to be the active designers and meaning makers. In conclusion, both articles shows that the young children can engage in multiliteracy learning when they are supported with the right pedagogy. The first article demonstrated how visual experiences like artworks can spark children observation, storytelling, and imaginations. Similarly, the second articles highlighted the digital technology. When they are used in creative ways, they can motivate persistence, build collaboration, and open up various new ways for the children so that they can express themselves. What really stand out for me is that the multiliteracy learning is not about choosing one approach over another one. It's about giving children many different opportunities so that they can communicate through image, words, stories, sounds, and digital tools. This really reflects the message of EYLF, which encourages us to see that children as confident and creative communicators. As an educator, I find that the importance of learning environment is so essential. The learning environment needs to be engaging, inclusive, and meaningful. Whether it's through artwork, storytelling, or digital tools, my role is to guide the children to explore, experiment, and take the ownership of their learning. Thank you.